everyone, good morning. Welcome to the King Angel Show, presenting true crime daily, I guess, today, or KAS True Crime. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a great day. Welcome in. I'm your host, King Angel, a Wine Country, California live streamer, content creator here on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok, and on Instagram. All my links you can find in the description box below. You already know that. If you're watching me on Twitch, good morning. How's it going? Are you ready for some early morning true crime today? Because I'm going to tell you something. I sure as hell am. We're going to be reading through all these true crime daily cases that I have here, which are pretty interesting. And then we will end today's live stream with a bit of true crime talk video reviews. So we'll indulge in that together. And yeah, that's basically it. What's up? Let me know in the comment section how your day's going so far. How's life treating you? It is a sort of grayish morning here in Northern California, specifically Wine Country where I'm in. Cold, so trying to keep as warm and snuggled as possible, but I mean, I'll be honest with you. In comparison to last year, this year has been a whole lot colder, so I am expecting it to get a whole lot worse. So yeah, I mean, it's not anything snow related. It doesn't really snow where I live, but it gets to the point that everything is frosty and whatnot. So definitely not looking forward to that. But other than that, just a few quick updates before I start today's live stream. Hopefully this week I will be able to go through a series of interviews that I have for a few positions that I've applied to. Cross fingers for me. Hopefully that goes well. They're really good positions. One of them is actually a specific leadership manager position that I have been wanting for quite some time. If you don't know, that's what I do. I'm a graphic designer. I also do all the video editing for all my videos and whatnot. But on top of that, I am also very much into manufacturing and all of the processes and standard operating procedures that go with it. At one point in my life, for probably like 7 years of my life, I was a director of a company, so I had complete charge of a department and whatnot. So I do miss it. I miss being in a leadership position. I tried a stint with an entry-level job, which was fine for the moment, but I don't know, man. I've just been preparing my whole life for, I guess, more of a leadership role. And yeah, that's what I'm striving for, and I'm not going to stop until I get the position that I want. And yeah, hopefully this week with these interviews that I have for some pretty great companies, hopefully I will be able to land that. Because yeah, we're all here for a purpose, and I feel like my purpose is to be a leader. I have been taking a whole bunch of courses and whatnot, more so to be able to understand the position and have a lot more structure when it comes to it. I might be boring you with this, but to me it's really interesting, especially if it's money involved. I do have like my own consulting company for manufacturers and whatnot, but I do like the back and forth when it comes to working with other people and whatnot. I personally, and this is my own personal opinion, like if it differs from yours, man, more power to you. But me specifically, I don't like working from home. I do like, obviously, content creating and video editing and like doing all my thing. Like everything that you see on my YouTube, anywhere, from the graphic design all the way to whatever you would consider as good or bad video editing. I mean, that's your opinion. It's all done by me. So I've learned all this shit through the years and whatnot. But I don't know. Me personally, if I'm too comfortable, I procrastinate a lot, and can't do it. I have goals that I want to get to, and procrastinating is not going to get me anywhere. So me personally, I do enjoy a lot more being in an office or working with other people. I mean, albeit not everyone is nice, or you don't have to get along with everyone, but I enjoy human interaction. Way more than I enjoy it being reduced to just online, which is extremely important, and it's great, but I also like actual conversations with people, whether it's good or bad. So me personally, I do enjoy the work environment. Not so much that I would, it's not like I'm in love with it and oh my god, I love it. But I can see the positives and the negatives from each side. And me personally, I think that the positives for working outside of my house is a lot more than the ones that are not. So I don't know. Let me know your opinion in the comment section. What do you think? Do you have a job at home? Do you prefer a job in the office? Maybe I'm just old, specifically, because I know there's a lot of people that enjoy working from home, but I just think it's too distracting. I have everything here that I love. I have my console. I have my cat. Dude, the cat in and of itself takes up a lot of my time when I'm trying to work. You see, I'm here, so he wants the attention. And, it's a lot easier to just be a lot more comfortable, but I don't know, just me specifically, that's the way I think. Again, if you think differently, then let me know in the comment section and just give me a reason. And it's probably a very valid reason. There's plenty of people that have valid reasons for wanting to work from home. And I can see the positives in it, of course. But, I don't know, man, having to cook every day here, it takes so much time. And I don't like, I guess that's just me. I don't like cooking like basic food just to be able to fill my stomach. If I'm going to cook and eat, which I do every day, we're going to eat. It's a feast. We are to indulge in the beauty of food, but that takes time. And I don't know, man, doing this shit every day is like, I would still have to do it to be able to go to work. I don't like eating food from the streets like that. I've had to force myself into being frugal because I would spend a lot of money back in the day, and I kind of wish I hadn't. I would have had a way better savings account, but you do see the difference between making your food at home and whatnot and eating out, but it's having to do it every day. That is insane. It's like the curse of the curses, where you have to sustain yourself with food 3 times a day. That gets old after a while. It gets old. That's why people make crappy food sometimes, because you're just tired. I'm like, god damn, can't do it. So again, more power to you if you like working from home. I personally prefer working in an office with other people, but that's just me. Any other announcements? I don't know if you saw my post on any of my social media accounts, but I am working on the Ketty Cabin murder video. It'll be like my first official video with images and video, actual videos playing with a voiceover and whatnot. I mean, you will see me, but it will be more catered and created to those that like the specific famous cases with the voiceovers, a la that chapter in Coffee House Crimes. Excellent content creators that you should definitely check out if that's your cup of tea, especially if you like the in-depth analysis of specific cases. Excellent content creators. There's another one. Her name is a Southern Girl True Crime, I believe it is. Excellent. Her videos are, she makes small informational portions of cases and puts them into one video. Pretty interesting. Dude, there's so many content creators out there that do an amazing job. But I did see something the other day before I start the stream. I just said that, but if you're a content creator and you do like true crime and whatnot, there's a line that you have to draw. That line is your interference in actual cases that are going on that you don't have anything to do with. You're just a content creator. You're not the news. You're not an investigator. You're not a detective. You're not Batman. You're also not the savior. So I saw a very interesting video of a content creator that has sort of like a news channel on TikTok, but she was approached by someone that was accusing the owner of a daycare that he had SA'd a kid. This lady went so far as to contact this content creator, and that person made a whole video about this man where she straight up accused him based off of what this person was telling her. As it turns out, he was completely innocent. There was an investigation, a thorough investigation done by law enforcement, and it was determined that it was a lie, and he had no fault. Mind you, they closed his daycare. He was put on a list. And, you know, it's not to say that there are plenty of men out there that are disgusting and do this shit, but you have to have evidence to be able to accuse people of things. I didn't know that it was guilty until proven innocent. I thought it was innocent until proven guilty. But now this content creator is potentially going to get sued by this man because she stuck her nose in someone else's bag of cocaine instead of sticking your nose in your own bag. Mind your business. It didn't have anything to do with you. But the thing is, a lot of content creators, that's why there's plenty of law enforcement that don't like true crime fanatics. There's a lot of people that don't like true crime fanatics in general because it's not the first time this has happened. There's been plenty of cases where people interfere and, you know, they go to the crime scene and shit. If you don't have anything to do with it, it's not your place, which is why you should draw that line. I mean, you're not an investigator. You're a content creator. If the case is already finished or if it's an ongoing case, I mean, you can inform people with the facts that you have up until that point. But once you involve yourself in someone else's business and then you make that shit public, the internet is forever. I mean, that man's reputation is forever tarnished. Even with the results of the investigation being that he was innocent, the fact that that word is involved in now in that man's image to everyone, that's it. He's either going to have to learn how to live with the biggest amount of pride and dignity that someone can try to live with, overcoming what anyone else thinks, or, dude, that could just fucking lead to someone committing suicide. But let's be real. He's never going to recuperate from that. And this content creator gets to sleep at night. Pretty nice. Pretty willy-nilly without any consequences to her actions. And I sincerely hope that when she does get sued for defamation, that courts find her guilty. And that sends a message, and it's like a ripple effect to all other true crime content creators. You can inform, you can talk about a case, you could show whatever evidence that's provided by investigators and law enforcement. But putting yourself into the situation and then acting surprised as to why you're now involved when you literally made a video that went viral accusing someone of sexually assaulting a child. And you didn't even back it up with evidence. You just took this person's word for it and you ran with it. And now there's someone's life that's literally destroyed. What are you going to do about it? Like, what is this person going to do? She's going to have to take responsibility for it. Know your line. Like, know your place. Keep yourself behind that line. You don't need that shit in your life. Like, why do you need to put yourself into something that doesn't have anything to do with you? Why? You only had a certain amount of followers. It's not like you have like millions of followers that you could be able to make money off of it or anything. Like, this person was not able to make a dime off of that video. Yet, this man's life is destroyed. That's it. all because this person got involved in something that had nothing to do with them. Mind your business. I don't understand. Is there no shame anymore? Are people not embarrassed? Is that not something that people feel anymore? Like, I don't understand. I mean, she made an apology video, and she might as well should not have done anything. Should have kept her mouth shut. Even after having put herself into that situation, she should have just not continued. And not even make the goddamn apology video, because you just made yourself look way worse. If I would have been that person, I would have just closed the account and just try to keep myself away from it, because she's already in it. So why fill shit up with more crap that's completely unnecessary? Know your lane. Stay in your lane. Stay in your spot. It's not your place. People fucking crazy with this notion that they have to be involved in everything because you have a platform. That means that gives you like the right to be able to butt into other people's lives. Bro, it's not your business. What are you doing? Whatever. I hope her account is closed, and I hope she faces those defamation that she's gonna be facing when she gets sued by this guy, because she's gonna get sued. Dude, the video went very viral. That comment section in that video, woo, yeah, they put his name and everything in there. So it's not like people don't know who this man is. Like, they know who this person is. He is forever tarnished because of some random person's involvement in something that didn't have anything to do with them. Yo, we talk about these cases and shit, and I read about them and all this, but that's about it. I could post a video, maybe, if it's any pressing situation, like the case that we saw about a week or two ago, and it was a person that was still at large. I mean, it's information that the police is putting on their websites and stuff, so you can share that. They're actively looking for this person. But butting into another person's life and destroying their life through social media, which they will never be able to recuperate from, that should have some sort of consequence to it. It can't be that this person is just going to live their life merry and nothing is ever going to happen to them. And you have consistently this problem happening of people butting into cases where they don't really need to be butting themselves. Like, I don't understand. I read that book I read, Those Empty Eyes by Charlie Dania. One of the chapters is about a true crimer that gets involved in the case, and it's from the perspective of the police, like them expressing how much they hate that, because they're putting themselves into an investigation that has nothing to do with them, and tarnishing it with just bullshit. Do you guys remember the Gabby Petito case? The van where it was parked, dude, there were people going to the van. Like, someone leaked the address of where the van was, and there were like true crime fanatics going there and taking pictures of the van and shit, and like making videos right outside of it and whatnot, trying to crack the case. Bruh, really? It doesn't have anything to do with you. Why are you doing that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. What is the deal? Like, if you're so keen into wanting to crack a case, bro, why don't you just take like those courses and whatnot? Why don't you learn about the procedures that are established to be able to be a private investigator? Because that's a business. You could get a license and be a private investigator. But why don't you do that? And you don't do that. What you do is you have a channel, and you think that that is enough for you to go ahead and crack a case. Batman, I guess, is what we need to call you from now on. The world's greatest detective. Bro, you need to chill with that. You're just hurting the people that are trying to get answers from this very tragic situation that's happening. And you're there butting your nose in and then washing your hands, and you're like, I don't have anything to do with this. Oh, and that's it. and then you go home and you make another video about someone else. Stay in your lane. That's it. We don't need it. You don't need to get involved. Whatever. That really ticked me off. I have the video saved there and whatnot. Maybe next stream I'll show it or something. I have to go through my phone and stuff, but it's really horrible. Really horrible. Moving on. I'm taking your precious time talking all this, but you know where to find me. I'm all across social media: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. If you're watching me here on the KAS True Crime YouTube channel, how's it going? How's your day going? Good morning or good afternoon. I don't know where the hell you are, but good morning if you're in the West Coast. Good afternoon if you are in the East Coast. Same for the Twitch family. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Good morning, good afternoon to you too. Like I said, you can find me all across social media. Discord is, for now, public for KAS True Crime fans and anyone who likes horror movies, weird shit. Talking about aliens, the supernatural, occult. I am really into cults. Have you guys seen that Love Has Won documentary? Whew. What a ride, huh? What a blue-faced ride. Or gray. Listen, I'm not going to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it, but all I can say is the song of the documentary is I'm blue, la ba dee la ba da. If you know, you know. That's all I'm saying. If you know, you know. Discord, Patreon, $1 a month. You get a 7-day free trial if you want to check it out, see what's there. If you like it, again, it's $1 a month. That would greatly help me. I'm trying to grow that community as much as possible. And if you are on Twitch, you can use your Amazon Prime if you want to further support me. If you're watching me on Facebook, what's going on? How's it going? I think this should be the first stream that is on the official KAS True Crime Facebook page. So if you're watching me there, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. If you're watching the rerun of this, let me know in the comment section what you think. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, we're going to be reading some True Crime Daily cases. We will watch some news videos, discuss any of the cases that are there. After that, we will do a section of Crime Talk video reviews. Not that long. Probably do like an hour or so of that. Highly entertaining. I love watching the creations of other content creators. It's very admirable in many cases and very informative too, and highly entertaining. So why wouldn't we want to participate in that? I think that's about it. Really quickly, I just want to make this very clear. If you don't like what I do, or if you see that I make a mistake in a video, you have all the right to correct me. That's what the comment section is there for. But the moment you don't treat me as a human being, but you treat me as a piece of meat that you're watching on a screen, you have your freedom of speech, especially if you live here in the States. If you don't live here in the States, fine. But if you live here in the States, you have your First Amendment right to freedom of speech. But attached to that is my freedom to not listen to you. You have a freedom of speech. Sure, I have the freedom to not listen to you. I have the freedom to completely ignore what you're saying. I thought that was like a default. I thought people already knew that that was the deal. You know, you have your Second Amendment right. In the Constitution, I have a right to not own a gun. That is the deal. You have the right to purchase a gun. I have the right to not want one. You have the right to say whatever you want with your First Amendment speech. Freedom of speech. I have the right to not want to listen to you. So I don't know where those lines are getting crossed, and people think that they can just talk to other people with the extreme disrespect and being like highly inconsiderate of someone else being a human being, that I don't have to listen to what you're saying. If you want to disguise insult as constructive feedback, I don't have to listen to your constructive feedback. That's the deal. So if I consider you being disrespectful and I don't like the way you're talking to me, I don't have to talk to you. Period. I don't have to respect you. Why? You don't respect me as a human being. It's a two-way street. You have your freedom of speech. I have my freedom to ignore you. You can stand in the corner and scream anything you want to scream. Fine. You have your freedom of speech. Not anything. It has to fall between the parameters of normality, because if you start spewing crazy shit, you're probably going to get in trouble because of that. But if you stand in the corner and you just talk, you have the right to do that. I have the right, as a person walking around where you are screaming, to completely call you crazy, say fuck you, and move on, and not listen to a word you're saying and deem you crazy. That's the deal. And I think that because it's not written in the Constitution, I think people are under the impression that because you talk, I have to listen to you. What you say, because you have a freedom of speech, I have to hear that shit mandatory. And that is wrong. Wrong. That's not the way it works. So, you can use my comment section. You can criticize me. And you can insult me all you want. I don't care. But the moment you expect something from me in return because you think you're doing me the favor of giving me some sort of like constructive feedback or criticism, I take what I want. And first, and number two, I do what I want. I choose to heed your words if I want to, and I can take your words into consideration, or I can completely ignore and literally go deaf with anything you have to say. I could read it and just act as if you said absolutely nothing to me. And that is my right. So don't get that shit twisted. I'm a human being. I'm not claiming to be a scientist. I'm not claiming to be a doctor or anything that has to... I'm a graphic designer who loves to be in front of a camera, and I love all of the different things I do. True crime, my other show on the King Angel show, review videos that I put. I just like being in front of a camera. That doesn't give you the right to treat me like I'm some sort of animal or like I'm some type of piece of shit or something, because I'm going to treat you the same way. I'll do it respectfully, but I'm going to treat you the same way, because it's a two-way street. And I don't have to do anything. I don't have to act the way... You don't have to act the way I want you to act. At all. You're a free person. It's a free country. But on that same balance, this is also a free country for me. I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to do what you ask me to do. I don't have to cater to you. Specifically, I do the most I can. And I do what I want. If you like it, and I'll try to do as much as I can. If you don't, then that's it. You don't. You think I don't know that people don't like me? I know that shit for a fact. And I'm cool with that. That's cool. Hey, dude, peaches are the most sweetest, or one of the most sweetest fruits in the world. And there's people that don't like peaches. People that fucking hate peaches. They don't want to know anything about peaches. And some people love them. The same thing with human beings. Once you take that into consideration and you accept that fact, that's it. Again, not everyone's gonna like you. Not everyone is gonna think you're entertaining. Not everyone is gonna think I have something good to say, and that's cool. But to the people that do, I appreciate it. It's the whole point. But if you don't, you don't. Cool. That's it. I don't understand. What do you want me to do? No, really. What are you expecting me to do? You have to change everything I do and change what I like because you don't like it? Dude, block me. There's a not interested on this channel. Press that non-interested button. Block me. I don't care. If I pop up on social media, dude, block me. You could write in the comment section, go fuck yourself. Anything. I don't really give a shit. But once you start like criticizing my looks and stuff like that, like, you lost. Because What do you think, that you're gonna stay pretty your whole life if that is the case? Yeah, you're probably gonna get ugly with time. That's how it works. You get old. I don't know what to tell you. Dude, this online world is crazy, and you have to grow thick skin to be able to look past those negative comments and trolls and see the positive in what you're doing. And I get a lot of positive comments, and I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the negative ones too. That doesn't mean I'm going to do anything about it, but I do appreciate that it's still a comment, and it's still engagement, and it's still a view. But I don't know, I think people are under the impression that view equals currency. I don't make a dime off this. I wish I did, but the truth is, I don't make a dime off of this. And there's a lot of content creators that we don't make any money off of this. Why do you think I have to get a job? Why do you think I'm trying to get a job up until this point? Because I don't make money off of this. So it's not like your view equals currency. I don't know, man. I have a lot to say about this topic, but that's basically it. If you don't like what you see, dude, just move on. Life is so short for you to waste your time on something that you don't even like. It's like, if you don't like olives, what the hell are you talking about olives so much for? Why are you in... Just leave it alone. That's it. You don't like olives. That's it. You just don't eat olives. If you don't like me, that's it. That's about it. If you want to let me know that you don't like me, just write it. But you can't get mad at me if I don't react to it. I mean, you can't keep provoking, like pushing with a stick, like poking me with a stick, trying to push me into reacting into a certain manner, because I'm not going to fall for that crap. It's not important. If you don't want to watch me, like I said, at the end of the day, just move on. There are plenty of way better content creators than I on this platform that you could find, and you can join their channel, subscribe, and they will do a better job. If that's the whole case. And I'm not going to deny it, but I mean, you don't have to announce it either. Like, I get it. This isn't an airport. You don't have to announce your departure. I get it. It's the name of the game. But nonetheless. Yeah, I actually wrote it. I had some announcements and updates. I think that's about it. Alright, let's get into today's True Crime Daily cases. I ranted a lot today. I just really wanted to say all this. I really do. And to all the new people that are following me, to all the people that are watching the videos and stuff, dude, I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. And everyone that actually corrected me in a human manner, that, you know, you corrected a mistake I did or said, but it doesn't... You understand that it doesn't give you the right to insult me, or, you know, you corrected me, and I appreciate that. And you can see in the comment section, I said thank you, and I'll learn and I'll do better, because that's the name of the game. But you understand that there's countries outside of the United States that don't use the same temperature system as you guys use here. You guys use the metric system here. Everywhere else in the world, they don't use the metric system. So, yeah, you know what? Sometimes some people can get confused. Some of you other people are extremely smart, and you guys are know-it-alls and shit. That's great. But outside of the U.S., dude, there's people that use Celsius. You feel me? They don't use Fahrenheit like here. So, yeah, it was an honest mistake. And I appreciate all of you that corrected me in a nice manner, because I'm a human being at the end of the day. But if you don't treat me as such, I don't have to treat you as such. You want to treat me like an animal? We're all cattle. Not just me. We're all cattle. And you treat me that way, I'm going to treat you the same exact way. An eye for an eye. You damn right. Alright, that's it. Enough ranting from me. I mean, if you've seen my videos, you know that I do tend to rant from time to time. Cool. Alright, we'll move on. Appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. We're going to move on to this section. I said what I had to say, and I'm going to cut it and post it. So, It's not as if I'm just leaving it here. Stop this. Wonderful. Well, welcome to tonight's first portion of the live stream. Or today, because it's morning time. I meant to do this last night, though. But I had to switch it over to this morning, so that's why I got a little confused. But nonetheless, it's morning time here in Northern California, and we're going to start with these true crime daily cases. First one, we're going to go to Pennsylvania. Start off today's live stream with this. It says, Pennsylvania woman sentenced for breaking into home, biting 2 people, and killing a dog. True Crime Daily, published December 15th, 2023. And it says, this is in South Renovo. A 26-year-old woman will spend more than a decade behind bars for breaking into a home, assaulting 2 individuals, and killing a family dog with a knife in April. According to the Clinton County District Attorney's Office, on Tuesday, December 12th, a judge sentenced Brianna Englert to 12 years in prison with parole eligibility after 3.5 years after she pleaded guilty in October to 1 count of criminal trespass, 1 count of terroristic threats, 2 counts of recklessly endangering another person, 2 counts of simple assault, 1 count of cruelty to animals, and 1 count of resisting arrest. She does not qualify for any early release programs offered by the state. In April, Englert invaded a home in the 300 block of Pennsylvania Avenue while under the influence of drugs, and she was confronted by the homeowners and a neighbor. According to the district attorney's office, Englert then attacked the homeowner's dog with a knife and bit 2 of the victims. Following the attack, the 2 victims required medical treatment, and the dog suffered seizures and later died. Englert was reportedly under supervision with the Clinton County Adult Probation Department during the home invasion. District Attorney Dave Strauss sought a sentence of 25 years against Englert, stating in court, Miss Englert should thank her lucky stars that she is still alive today, because in many of the other homes in Clinton County that she could have broken into, she would have died that night. Englert has a criminal history dating back to 2019 and was previously convicted for simple assault. According to the district attorney's office, one of the victims, a retired school teacher, discussed Englert's past with drug abuse and crime in court, stating, "You invited us into the world. We never invited you into ours. You broke into our house with a knife." The teacher continued, "If it wasn't for our neighbors, I don't know what would have happened. I truly believe our neighbors saved our lives that night." The retired school teacher reportedly said her grandchildren are now traumatized from the attack. During sentencing, Englert cried in court and apologized to her victims. She requested the court let her undergo drug treatment programs, and she argued that her past with prescription drug and methamphetamine abuse were the cause of her criminal history. Judge Michael Salisbury told Englert she needed a severe object lesson. Salisbury reportedly argued that any lesser sentence would simply be an injustice and Englert would almost certainly reoffend. Yeah, absolutely correct. And I think that it ended worse for her because she chose to do that night. And again, she is pretty lucky based off of what they said here, because she could have easily been shot. It's like that case that we read a few months ago of the guy that would break into the Nevada homes and tickle and suck on women's feet, on their toes. The video is actually posted on the video section of this channel, so you have to kind of scroll down, but you'll be able to find it. That guy was extremely lucky as well that not one woman of those woke up and shot that dude between the eyes. I mean, this person is really, really lucky. It would have been any other state, and this would have been a completely different story. I'm just saying. This would have been like Idaho or some shit like that, or like Wisconsin, and that person would have been dead. Woo! Right then and there. Actually don't know if Pennsylvania has open carry like that. Let me know in the comment section. I don't think they do, but I'm not sure. I live in California. There's no open carry here, so I guess that's why I'm asking. But again, If this would have been in another state, this would have been in a Iowa or some shit like that, or Ohio or something. Yeah, this person would have been shot right between the eyes. No doubt about it. Or at least maybe not between the eyes, but there would have been some sort of repercussion to the person in the house. Which I find incredibly odd that there are limits to the Second Amendment here, which is it's weird because, again, I've said this before in other streams, but I come from a semi-dangerous country, depending on your perspective on it, and there's a lot of people that have guns back home. You can't open carry, but everyone has like guns in their home and whatnot because you have to defend your family and shit. I'm surprised this person didn't have like a gun. I guess it's because maybe Pennsylvania is not an open carry state. I don't know. That's why I'm waiting for the comment section to answer that question for me. Had it been, if that's the case, had it been an open carry state, like I said, this would have been a completely different story. Wow, how many of these people get away with this because they do stuff in states that it's a little bit more difficult to get guns? I mean, I'm not advocating for like people going armed to the teeth out to the streets, which I guess is their right to do, but I think that you should at least have a gun in your home. At least there. I also never understood how there are states that have like recreational cannabis and shit, but you can't get a gun. It's like, but if you drink alcohol, you can get a gun. But if I smoke cannabis, I can't get a gun license. Why does that work? I thought the Second Amendment right was to all citizens of the U.S. I don't know. These limits, dude, and all these like in-betweens that certain states have, bro, it's fucking insane. I don't understand that. Like, I've never understood why. I do. Obviously, I do. Specifically here in California, there's a reason why it's not an open carry state. If you don't know, I'll just let you know real quick. Back in the Black Panther days, I don't know if you remember the really famous sit-in that the Black Panther did at the Sacramento City Hall, or I think it's like Sacramento Congress offices and whatnot, back in the 60s or 70s. And once people saw the Black Panthers with actual like Second Amendment, like holding actual rifles and shit, oh no, yeah, California said no, that's not gonna happen. And they made open carry illegal as quick as possible. All information that you can look up online, it's available. But yeah, that's why this state specifically is not open carry like all the other ones. Weird too, because we're one of the biggest states, but that is actual factual truth. Sucks. Sucks really bad. There's a lot that goes with it as well that it doesn't make any sense. But what I can say is I really wish it were even on all sides, and it's just like all states have the right to be able to legally purchase a firearm. And I mention it again, people also have the right to not want to purchase it, but at least that the option is there. And there aren't so many limits and stuff to be able to purchase one. I do agree with like psychological backgrounds before purchasing a gun. I'm pretty sure that there are plenty of gun owners that don't agree on how other gun owners handle weapons and armory and whatnot. So if those same people that are responsible gun owners are smart enough to understand that there are people that are not, then I think that there should be some sort of psychological background before you purchase a weapon. But on the same note, like I just mentioned, I just think it should be fair for everyone. And it's all across the board. And the same way that you can purchase a gun here in California, you could purchase it in New York, or you could purchase it in Florida, or purchase it in Wisconsin. That's the type of affair that I'm talking about, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I highly doubt it. But nonetheless, moving on. Go on to the next case. We are going to Ohio. Title says, Ohio man allegedly tried to have his ex killed so she wouldn't testify against him in rape case. True Crime Daily, published December 15th, 2023, and this is in Cincinnati. And it says, a 60-year-old man charged with allegedly raping his ex-girlfriend stands accused of trying to pay someone $1,500 to kill her while he awaited trial. On Thursday, December 14th, Hamilton County Prosecutor Melissa Powers announced an indictment against Charles Mosley, charging him with one count of conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, and intimidation of a witness. He faces a maximum prison term of 14 to 19 and a half years if convicted. According to Powers, Mosley allegedly assaulted and raped his ex-girlfriend in 2022 and was indicted on 2 counts of rape, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 1 count of aggravated menacing. He pleaded guilty to felonious assault in September, but denied the rape allegations. He is set to appear for his trial in January 2024. Powers said Mosley tried to withdraw his guilty plea to the felonious assault charge in October. The request was denied, and a judge sentenced Mosley to 6 to 9 years in prison. While in jail, Mosley allegedly tried hiring another inmate to kill his ex-girlfriend for $1,500 to, quote-unquote, prevent her from testifying against him. In addition to the new allegations, Mosley faces another 11 years in prison if convicted of the rape charges. Mosley remains held in the Hamilton County Jail without bond. Powers said in a statement, I'm relieved this plan was discovered and stopped before any more harm could come to this victim. Her remarkable courage in the face of such evil is profoundly inspiring. Powers continued, this man, who brutally attacked and raped his victim, then orchestrated her murder to escape justice, will now go to prison and hopefully for the rest of his life. Yeah, that makes sense. I actually read a case about sort of the same situation, but it was with a judge, and he actually killed the judge. That judge was presiding over his case. It was his divorce case. And yeah, a guy went and he killed the judge. Luckily, in this case, this dummy's plans were unfoiled beforehand and he wasn't able to go through with it. But there's a lot of people that do this. There's dang it, I don't remember the name specifically. I remember seeing the case on that chapter. It was a guy that he was in the military and he was being accused of committing heinous crimes against children, I believe. He was set to appear in court, and it was his neighbor who happened to work in the military as well, and his wife, they were going to testify against him. And he killed both of them. He killed 2 other neighbors, and he killed one other person and set the car on fire. And that's how everything was discovered. When they discovered the vehicle scorched, and there was someone inside of it, 2 people inside of it, they ended up going to the house of law enforcement. And that's when they found then the bodies of all the other people that I just mentioned. Well, no, he didn't kill himself. No, actually, no, he did go to court. I think it was like, dang it, Captain Skip or something. As to not like go into searching for that case. It's something that happens a lot. There are a lot of people that think that they can eliminate certain people and like that's it. The case would just drop or stop and nothing would come to them. But that's a foolish way to think because you're not only involving someone else. See, this person tried to involve another inmate there. Most likely that inmate had his time reduced because he went and told on you. So, I mean, if anything, you just did this other inmate a favor. But you made your situation a whole lot worse, and it's $1,500. To this person, her life, his ex-girlfriend, is worth $1,500. That's it, because that's what he was going to pay someone to get her eliminated. All because she was divorcing him. Isn't that something, huh? After he had committed those heinous crimes against her, his gotcha moment is, oh, I'm going to try to get this person killed. That's insane. I actually covered another case a few weeks ago. Very tragic case. It was a family that was found murdered in their house. And originally, I didn't think that there was a couple that were the perpetrators. And they caused like this huge accident on the highway that ended up like hurting a whole bunch of other people, and they killed themselves in the car. Well, it was discovered recently that she indeed had already planned everything to get this family murdered, because her boyfriend had been involved with the mother of the children that were killed, and this was all discovered like a day or two ago. Everyone was under the impression that it was the guy that had committed all the crimes, but in reality, it was both of them. And they were trying to just get the family out of the way because of some like court case and whatnot. Very sad. Very sad indeed. And it's something that happens quite a lot. I hope he stays in jail. Hope he stays in jail for the rest of his life, like it says here. He's definitely a menace to society. Can't deny that. All right. Moving on to the next one. We are going to... Wait. Oh, shit. We're going to Ohio again. Title says, Ohio grandma pleads guilty to leaving granddaughter's body in cooler for over a month. Wow. Published December 14th, 2023. This is True Crime Daily, and this is in Hamilton County. A 45-year-old woman could face almost 2 decades in prison after she pleaded guilty to charges relating to the death of her toddler granddaughter, whose body was found in a cooler. WXIX-TV reports LaTanya Austin entered the plea Wednesday, December 13th, for charges of gross abuse of a corpse, involuntary manslaughter, and tampering with evidence. She will reportedly be sentenced to between 15 and 20 years in prison with 948 days credit for time served. Austin was indicted in June 2021 on charges of aggravated murder, 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, 1 count of tampering with evidence, and 1 count of gross abuse of a corpse for the death of a 2-year-old Zayla Lee. She could have faced life in prison. The Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office previously indicted her on charges of abuse of a corpse and tampering with evidence because the girl was discovered in a cooler on Austin's property. Lee's death was ruled a homicide due to blunt force trauma to the head, but she also sustained deep lacerations near her hip and a broken arm after she died. Wow. According to WXIX, Austin told investigators one of the other children in her home shook and cut her up with scissors. Austin reportedly wrapped Lee's body inside multiple trash bags and left her in the cooler. She had been dead for approximately a month before police found her remains. In the statement announcing Austin's indictment, then Hamilton County Prosecutor Joseph DeTiers said, "It is impossible to comprehend the depravity of an individual able to not only strike a 2-year-old so hard to cause her death, but to then attempt to conceal that crime by stuffing the child's lifeless body into a cooler. As a father and a grandfather, I am sick." So am I. That's horrible. Wow. Do you really need me to give you my opinion on this? You already know my opinion on this. I say it every episode. It's the same thing. It's always it's children, and it's wow. Stuffed in a cooler, huh? Wow. And she tried to blame the other children for it. It's crazy. Wow. I don't even know what to say anymore about these parents. Blunt force trauma to the head. Also had deep lacerations near her hip and a broken arm after she died. all I read is not one single care for the child. Completely intentional. And that's my own personal opinion. There really isn't any other... oh, well, sorry, no, there actually is. Let's see what this website has to say. This WXIX. We'll watch this video real quick while I open chat. I just realized I don't have any other chats open. So I'll leave this playing, and hopefully it's not loud like all the other ones. Okay, sorry, give me 1 sec. Just making sure the volume is correct.
Now for you, new at 5, a Cincinnati grandmother pleaded guilty to charges in connection to her 2-year-old granddaughter's death.
45-year-old Latanya Austin was accused of putting the toddler's body into multiple trash bags and then putting those trash bags in a cooler and toddler's body into multiple...
Our Brittany Harry was the only reporter in the courtroom. She joins us live from the Hamilton County Courthouse.
Oh, thank you very much, Duck and Felons. I really appreciate that.
Well, Latanya Austin, she was scheduled for a bench trial this morning at around 9 o'clock, but actually ended up pleading to 3 of the 7 charges that she was facing in this case. And for the first time, we're hearing from family.
Yeah, so that was the rock, trying to hold everything together, and
those were Latanya Austin's words in Judge Alan Trigg's courtroom this morning. She pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter, gross abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. Those charges are in connection to her 2-year-old granddaughter's death.
That makes the aggregate sentence 15 years to 20 and a half years. She gets credit for 948 days that she's already served.
I feel bad about the sentence because I know that she didn't do that. I don't feel like she did. I know that she loves kids.
Armani Robinson is Austin's nephew. He says he doesn't believe she would hurt anyone, let alone her own granddaughter.
Well, she loves kids. She has her own kids. She took in her daughter's kids. And prior to that, she was taking care of other people's kids. And when I would go over there and I was hearing interactions with the kids, it was never an issue, like ever.
Austin was accused of putting her granddaughter's body into multiple trash bags. Those bags were placed in a cooler behind her home in South Fairmont. Austin's attorneys say she had a difficult upbringing and has suffered, quote, enormous trauma throughout her life. She also, according to her attorneys, suffers from mental health issues.
I love her to death, and I want her to know that I love her to death.
Now, Austin's sentence, according to the judge, is to be served consecutively. And we also know that once she is released from prison, whether that be in 15 or 20 and a half years, that she will then be on 5 years of post-release control. For now, reporting live from downtown, Brittany Harry, Fox 19 Now.
Wow. I mean, I guess it's a surprise for anyone if you find out that a family member has committed a crime in that manner, but I don't know, it's just... Wow, she had kids. Like, she was always surrounded by children. That's scary stuff right there. Yep, it didn't happen before, but it sure as hell did happen now. And this is a very horrible way for police to find a body. So I do understand his point of view from, I guess, like an empathy part, but the truth of the matter is, like, no one really thinks that someone is capable of doing something, and then when you're faced with the reality of, yeah, it's not what you think, and that person is not who you thought they were. Reality hurts sometimes, and it's not easy to accept, but the crime was committed, and she's definitely going to be spending her, if not her whole life, she's going to be spending a good chunk of it in jail. So reality's reality, and can't deny it. I just saw Twitch chat. Regilas, thank you so much for being here. I saw your hello. I apologize. I didn't see it before. I didn't have chat open. That's my bad. I should have had it up and running once I started the stream, but it completely slipped my mind. So if you're still here, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Moving on. Wow, that's so sad. Okay, we're going to Illinois. Title says, Chicago man accused of fatally strangling pregnant woman and dumping her body on roadside. True Crime Daily, published December 13th, 2023, and this is in Lake County. And it says, A 37-year-old Chicago man allegedly fatally strangled a pregnant 39-year-old woman during an argument, left her body in his car for days, and then dumped her remains on the side of a road in Lake County last month. Wow. According to the Lake County Sheriff's Office, on November 29th at around 7 a.m., deputies responded to the area of Hunt Club Road south of Route 173 in reference to possible human remains on the side of the road. Once there, deputies found a woman's body and determined she had died of homicidal violence and was dumped there in the early morning hours. The Lake County Coroner's Office performed an autopsy and concluded the victim, Megan Lewis, was 16 weeks pregnant at the time of her death. Detectives allege Juan Vega Montoya killed Lewis. According to the Sheriff's Office, investigators reviewed surveillance video and learned Vega Montoya allegedly picked up Lewis on November 26 near Cicero and West Belden Avenues in Chicago. They reportedly began arguing in the car, and Vega Montoya fatally strangled Lewis. The Sheriff's Office said investigators believe Vega Montoya drove home after Lewis's death and kept her body in his car for around 2 days. He allegedly dumped her body on the side of Hunt Club Road late on the night of November 28th. According to the Sheriff's Office, detectives performed a traffic stop on Vega Montoya on Monday, December 11th, and took him into custody. They recovered further evidence inside Vega Montoya's car. The Lake County State Attorney's Office reviewed the case and approved a charge of concealing a homicidal death. Because Lewis's strangling death occurred in Chicago, the Sheriff's Office said they sent over the investigative information to the Chicago Police Department, but they anticipate murder charges will be filed. Lake County Sheriff John Eidelberg said in a statement, "It is simply unconscionable to kill someone, then dump their body on the side of a road in a humiliating fashion." Vega Montoya remains held in the Lake County Jail. Wow. He's probably going to get like double murder because she was pregnant. Rightfully so. Hopefully this person is locked up for the rest of his life. Wow, but 16 weeks pregnant, huh? Is there like a reason? I mean, one can only imagine what the reason is with these very horrible men. But no, they don't say anything specific. Let's see what the Lake County Sheriff's Office says. Let's see. Look at the physical evidence. Any reason or motive? Any other? So they stopped. Well, I already mentioned that it was on a traffic stop. Well, no, they conducted a surveillance area of Vega Montoya's home. He was spotted driving, and that's when they conducted a traffic stop, taking him into custody, and they were able to find physical evidence of the homicide inside of his vehicle. Does it actually say what they found? Okay, so this is all just like the sheriff's office and like everyone that worked on the case, I guess, like congratulating each other and whatnot, but there's no motive here, and there is no a news video or anything, so I have to move on to the next one. But yeah, he's gonna be definitely facing a double homicide, and probably also let me see, does it mention it here? Probably like improper disposal of a corpse or mishandling of a corpse as well. Yeah, he's probably gonna get like 4 or 5 charges on top of the murder charges that he's already gonna receive for killing her and killing the baby. Jesus. Cheese and fries. It's crazy. All right, move on to the next one. We're going to New Jersey. Title says, New Jersey man reportedly found naked on top of his mother's body with her head several feet away. True Crime Daily published December 12, 2023. This is in Ocean City. It says, police arrested a 46-year-old man after he reportedly confessed to killing and decapitating his mother. According to a press release from the Cape May County Prosecutor's Office and Ocean City Police Department, on Friday, December 8th, at 3:59 p.m., Jeffrey Surgent called 911 and said he suffers from mental illness and he just killed his mother. Police officers went to Surgent's home on the 600 block of 6th Street and found Surgent and his 74-year-old mother's body. He was taken into custody on charges of first-degree murder, possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose, and unlawful possession of a weapon. The statement said Surgent was then transported to a secure medical facility. Court documents cited by NJ.com say when police arrived, Surgent did not have any clothes on and was on top of his mother's body in a hallway outside his apartment. Her head was reportedly a few feet away from the rest of her body. Surgent allegedly started yelling and apologizing for killing his mother. The affidavit reportedly says Surgent tossed his mother's head outside the door. Then he was seen peeking out from the apartment, then pulling his mother's body into the hallway. He is nude and proceeds to lay on top of her until patrol arrives. He's in custody at the Cape May County Jail without bond. Wow, what the hell did I just read? Wow. All right, let's see if I can see if there's like maybe like a video or something. Holy cannoli. That was, wow, that was very unique. Very unique, I can tell you that much. I don't even know what to say. Do they show his picture? Nah. This is the Cape May County Sheriff's Office website. This is just like the inmate details, but it doesn't say anything about, it doesn't have a picture. So no bail, no bail. Murder purposefully. So that's a first degree murder. Wow. That was very unique. Very unique. These cases, they get progressively worse by like with these weeks going by. You know, some of them are you know, we read a lot like crimes of passion and whatnot, or like people doing like very like heinous, like crazy things. But there's just sometimes these cases, like the one that I read the last time of the guy that decapitated someone and put their head inside of a like a wood furnace or something. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's no wonder horror movies and, you know, like bloody, gory movies have so much to be able to take from, because real life is pretty fucking scary. Like, wow. The depravities that human beings are capable of should keep other people up at night. This is a case that would, if I had not read other true crime cases the way I do, this probably would have given me nightmares. Because, wow. And to think, it's a human being doing it to someone else, and it was his mother. Unbelievable, but believable at the same time. Crazy. All right. Move on to the next one. We're going to Texas. Title says, former detention officer gets life for killing ex who was pregnant with his child. Oh boy. True Crime Daily published December 12, 2023, and this is in Plano. And it says, a 33-year-old man will spend the rest of his life behind bars for killing his 25-year-old ex-girlfriend and her unborn child on Easter weekend in 2017, leaving her 8-year-old son to find her dead. Yikes. According to a news release from the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office, on Monday, December 11th, a jury convicted Keith Haynes of capital murder in connection with the 2017 shooting death of Kanisha Walker, who was pregnant with his child at the time. He was automatically sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. On April 14th, 2017, Haynes fatally shot Walker in her bed, and Her 8-year-old son later found the body, the district attorney's office said. Well, authorities arrested Haynes in his apartment days after the shooting. At the time, Haynes worked for the Dallas County Sheriff's Department as a detention officer in the Courtesy Patrol Division. The Fort Worth Star Telegram reports, or the Fort Worth Star Telegram reports. What's up with these long names? According to the district attorney's office, Walker had been afraid Haynes would kill her. Walker reportedly sent text conversations she had with Haynes to a friend and said, "If I ever come up dead, please show the police this," and other screenshots. Tarrant County Assistant District Attorney Alina Bangs called Haynes such a coward, adding, "Kenesha is important. The unborn baby's life was important, and they both mattered." In a statement to the jury, Tarrant County Assistant District Attorney Sarah Sherman said, "This case is not a mystery. All the evidence has pointed to one person." Wow. Two for, huh? Because this is the second one right after the other that we read about some horrible, disgusting man that kills his wife or girlfriend that is pregnant at the time. 2 lives lost because of what this man did. Indeed, he was such a coward. Or will remain forever as a coward. I must not do anything. See, this is the thing about it's everyone's trying to tell people what to do. Yikes. There's no other information about this. They don't have like a news video and whatnot. Would have been great to get some news coverage on this, but mind you, he was a detention officer, a former detention officer. You would think, but no. Killed his ex and his kid. Wow. All right, moving on. We are going to South Carolina. It says South Carolina woman and her husband arrested for allegedly killing 4 family members in 2015. True Crime Daily published December 15th, 2023. And it says, we are going to Anderson County. And it says, investigators arrested a married couple 8 years after 4 family members were found dead in a brutal killing that occurred on Halloween 2015. The Anderson County Sheriff's Office announced Friday, December 15th, that Amy Velarde and her husband, Rosemore Ross Velarde, were taken into custody at their home in Columbia, South Carolina, on charges of 4 counts of murder each. On November 2nd, 2015, Anderson County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to a home on Refuge Drive after receiving a call about a possible shooting. Deputies did a sweep of the home and discovered 80-year-old Barbara Scott, 60-year-old Kathy Scott, 59-year-old Michael Scott, and 82-year-old Violet Taylor deceased. All 4 of the victims lived at the residence where they were found. They had been killed on October 31st. Anderson County Sheriff Chad McBride spoke in a press conference Friday and said Amy Velarde made the initial 911 call. She was Michael and Kathy Scott's daughter and Taylor's granddaughter. Amy Velarde reportedly told WSPA-TV in an interview following the killings that the victims were wonderful people and that they just didn't deserve this. McBride said the 4 victims were senselessly and brutally murdered and that detectives believed it to be one of the worst scenes they've ever seen. It was gruesome, gory, and a devastating scene to see. The South Carolina Attorney General's office will prosecute the case. Wow. Damn, she killed 4 of her family members, huh? All elderly citizens or close to being elderly citizens. I mean, was it to rob them? I don't understand. Like, is there a purpose? I mean, we know what happens and we know who did it. And the fact that it took 8 years for them to be arrested for it, that is crazy. I mean, were they just out meandering during this whole 8 years? Let's see. Okay, so this is the website, WSPA. That's... Okay, this is a full news conference. Okay, let's see what this says. This is when the Anderson County Sheriff's Department announced the arrest. We won't watch like the whole thing. It's 11 minutes long. I'm not gonna leave the whole video, but at least we will watch a little bit of the beginning, so that we'll give the sheriff some time to be able to explain sort of what happened and whatnot and their conclusions. Just want to real quick.
To my right, I have Detectives Tyler Duncan and Detective Staff Sergeant Scotty Hill. And so I just want to recognize them because they put in a lot of work in this case that we're about to talk about. So I appreciate y'all being here. I know it's a Friday afternoon. I know typically I don't do a lot of press conferences, and especially on Friday afternoon because I know it's tough for the media to get here, but I appreciate our media partners. And the reason we wanted to do this is because, let that truck get by. All right. Anytime that we've discussed this case, which is the quadruple homicide in Pendleton that occurred Halloween of 2015. Anytime we've talked about this case, given updates about this particular case, we've typically done press conferences because we know how important this case is to the county of Anderson, to the citizens of Pendleton and the Five Forks communities. And this is a case that rocked our county extremely hard in 2015, and it has since. It's been a very, very important case. We have tried to keep it at the forefront of the media and the public's awareness and knowledge, because we wanted to make sure that if for some reason there was ever anything out there that we didn't know, we wanted to be able to know it from somebody that would speak up and all that. So, but today, this afternoon, I'm extremely pleased to announce that 2 arrests have been made in connections with the brutal murders of Kathy Scott, Mike Scott, Barbara Scott, and Violet Taylor.
Wow.
We just made these arrests a little bit ago. If you'll remember, this occurred on Refuge Road in Pendleton again, Halloween night of 2015, or Halloween of 2015. We have arrested Ross Moore, aka Ross, Wayne Velarde.
I don't put things past anyone. It kind of seems like this had some sort of like superstitious connotation to it, and like there's something like, I don't know, because out of all of the days to commit a quadruple murder like that, I don't know. It seems some people are crazy like that, and some people take superstition way too seriously, and it kind of seems like, at least from my own personal opinion, because it was right on October 31st, that, I don't know, I think their noggin was confused, and I don't know, maybe they were like conspiracy theorists or some shit like that. Maybe there's a lot of things, but it does seem like it's such a brutal murder like that, or murders, because it was 4 people. It'd be hard, like, I don't know, man, like, thinking that it was like a robbery or something, it would seem too easy for it to just be that. And they would have probably mentioned it too. I think that maybe they took superstition a bit too far and were maybe misinformed, or they were not all there, and one thing led to another. But wow, really? On October 31st? I don't know, man. It sounds too much of a coincidence. It sounds too black cats are evil kind of thing. Like there's people in the world that actually think that they were put on this world to eliminate others because of some sort of like revelation from the stars, or that like it's I don't think this is as simple as how they're putting it, or like the reason behind it. I think that there's some dark, nefarious reason that they just try not to say. I mean, come on, again, I think I wouldn't have even thought about it if it would have been October 30th or like November 1st, but specifically October 31st, and how there's so many people that are against Halloween and believe that it's evil and it opens the portals to the connection between the living and the dead. I'm telling you, it's all like superstition shit passed down from generation to generation, and we went from Salem witch trials all the way to this now. And again, it's all my own personal opinion. Let me know in the comment section what you think, but I think I'm convinced that it has something to do with that. Who knows? Maybe they were just like extremely evil people that just wanted to kill. It's not like that hasn't happened before, but I don't know. It's too much of a coincidence for it to be October 31st and a quadruple homicide in this manner. It's crazy. I'm going to leave the video rolling a little bit. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick.
And Amy Velarde. They're in our custody right now, and they have been charged with murder for the quadruple homicide. Now, I know some of the members of the media may be a little bit new since 2015, and certainly since maybe the last time we've been able to push out an update. But the Velardes, of course, are related to the victims. Specifically, Amy Velarde is the daughter of victim Kathy Scott, and also granddaughter to Violet Taylor. So Ross is Amy's husband, and again, together we have arrested them just a little bit ago at their residence in Columbia, South Carolina, and brought them back here to Anderson, South Carolina, to face their charges, and that's where we stand right now. So many of you remember we've been working with Pam Isbell. She's been a kind of a liaison for the family, several members of the Taylor family as well, and I was able to talk to a couple of those folks on the phone just a little bit ago, and also was with Pam Isbell in person just a little bit ago. And God bless this family. They've been through so much, and they have waited for a long time. And we are just so pleased that they don't have to wait anymore on the arrest of these two individuals. So, I also want to recognize our partners that are partnering with us in the prosecution of both Amy and Ross Velarde. Is going to be the South Carolina Attorney General's office, and they are partnering with us, coming alongside of us to prosecute this case. I'm very excited about this. We've had a very good history with the Attorney General's office. Just very recently, they prosecuted I guess what people consider a cold case that we had brought to them from several years ago, but it was the Emmanuel Quarles case. And of course, they met a lot of success in that case and helped to bring justice in that case. And so we've enjoyed our working relationship with them and look forward to continuing that working relationship. I talked to the Attorney General himself, Alan Wilson, and so I can't thank him and his office enough for moving forward with this case and
cool. Well,
and the prosecution. So I'm extremely excited about working with them again.
Cool. I think that should be enough of the video. Thank you very much, Sheriff McBride, for providing that information. These are the two criminals. 4 people, huh? And that's something. All right, moving on. We are going to... Oh, wow. Pennsylvania. The title says, Pennsylvania man convicted of killing his business partner and burying her in a shallow grave. True Crime Daily, published December 15th, 2023, and this is in Montgomery County. And it says, a judge sentenced a man to life in prison after he was found guilty of killing his friend and business partner this year. The Montgomery County District Attorney's Office announced Wednesday, December 13th, that a jury convicted Blair Watts of first-degree murder in connection with the death of Jennifer Brown. Following the conviction, the judge handed Watts a mandatory sentence of life in prison without parole. NBC Philadelphia reports Watts claimed after the trial that he didn't kill Jennifer Brown. On January 4th, Watts reported 43-year-old Brown missing to the Limerick Township Police Department after she failed to pick up her 8-year-old son from the bus stop. Her son slept over at Watts' house the night prior, but Brown, who was described as an attentive and loving mother, did not pack her son's medicine for the night or a change of clothes. Police went to Brown's residence and found that her car, wallet, keys, purse, and work cell phone were still there. Her personal cell phone, however, was missing. A police canine trained to sniff out human remains found a scent inside Brown's kitchen and in the dumpster outside her house. Investigators located Brown's body in a shallow grave on January 18th. The Montgomery County coroner determined Brown died from homicide by unspecified means and added she had 3 broken ribs. The canine searched 2 of Watts' cars and found there had been human remains in each vehicle. In August 2022, Watts and Brown became business partners when she said she would invest in Watts' restaurant, Birdie's Kitchen. The two planned on opening the restaurant in January 2023. One day before Brown went missing, Watts transferred $17,000 into the business's bank account. The property owners where Watts wanted to open the restaurant told police he never signed a lease and that they would not want to move forward with the deal. Watts reportedly threatened to sue them. On January 4th, the same day Brown went missing, Watts went to the property and said he had enough money to pay for the lease. The prosecutor's office charged him with first-degree murder, third-degree murder, theft by unlawful taking, and access device fraud. There's a line specifically that I just read here, and that shit took me back to one of the worst cases in all true crime case history. And it's probably one of the most famous ones. I'm going to read it one more time. And before I tell you what case it is, let me know in the comment section which one you think it is, which one I'm talking about. But kind of weird. I guess there's a little spoiler for you. I guess, there's something that is shared between this case and the case that I'm going to mention. But let me read it for you first. Police went to Brown's residence and found that her car, wallet, keys, purse, and work cell phone were still there. Chris Watts. That's the first case that popped into my head automatically once I heard that part, because it reminded me of that scene. Scene. It's not a movie. Of the part of the not the interrogation, but what came before, when the police went to the house because her best friend had called to have that wellness check on the house. Whole thing happened. He goes into the garage and whatnot. But the moment when the officer realizes that all of her things are still in the house is when the officer, his spidey sense goes off. He starts seeing all the red flags. But it's in that specific moment where slowly everything starts to unravel. Because all of her name was Shanann. All of her things were still there. And he didn't really have much of an explanation other than to say that she had left with someone else. But again, all of her personal items that you, as the person that are watching this, and me, the person that's saying this, we know for a fact that there are 4 or 5 things that you would literally go back to your house to get if you forgot it, which are your wallet, your keys, your purse if you use a purse, like a wallet that men use, your cell phone. Like, do you really think you would get 2 blocks away from your home if you're without your cell phone? You'd probably go back to get that. Especially now with how we're just so intertwined with technology that you can't function without your phone. I mean, you don't even poop without your phone at this point, let alone leave your house without it. But all those things are indications of something nefarious. The fact that as human beings we have this like routine established, that when it's not like that, it starts raising red flags and your alarm bells start going off. What the hell is going on? Reading that sentence took me back to that moment of I remember the first time I heard about that case. It was fucking crazy. Like, there's just so much to that Chris Watts case. Even today, I don't know if you guys know that this man gets like bags and bags of love letters, and like people like wanting to be with him, and they like women and men like want him to like bang them and shit, and like they want to have his kids. Mind you, he killed his kids. I just want to throw that out there. Have you ever seen the pictures of the little girls that he killed? I mean, dude, those were his daughters. Why would you want to have a child? First of all, with a notorious serial killer like that, and not only that, to publicly state that you want something with this person, it's deranged. It's mental shit. It's untreated mental illness that can then convert itself to something else. But are you out of your mind? Nonetheless, coincidentally, this person has the same last name as Chris Watts as well. So, reaffirming the comparison between two cases, because they're both Watts, and the police found out because of all the things that were left behind. Only difference is this monster only killed one person, his business partner, and buried her in a shallow grave. That other fucker killed his whole family, his wife and 2 kids, and put them in metal drums. Was it 2 or 3 kids? I don't remember. Chat, let me know. I don't remember if it was 2 or 3, but nonetheless, it was still more than one child. And he put them in oil drums. Yep. Thought he was going to continue his life with his new person, and nothing would have ever happened. Are you noticing the comparisons between both? Again, one is a family. This one was his business partner. He transferred $17,000 from the business account from an account into the business account a day before the person went missing. So this was all premeditated. He already knew he was going to do this, which is why he's being charged with first-degree murder. Crazy. I'll never forget that Chris Watts case. Never. I'll never forget it. And I always mention it because, again, it's one of the most horrendous true crime cases. Like, so much the crime that was committed, but the reasoning why is insane. Like, how he is even still alive and he wasn't given the death sentence, I have no idea. Maybe his state doesn't allow death sentences and whatnot. And there's some people that are like, they don't like the death sentence, and I understand, to a certain point, but that's a threat to society, a complete threat to society. But oh well, whatever. I guess I'm not the best person to give my opinion on that. Yikes. And she, Brown, the person they're talking about here, she, out of the goodness of her heart, was trying to help this person by investing in their company. Like, not buying like products or anything like that, or buying like food because it was a restaurant. This person put her own money to be able to help this individual achieve his goals and dreams, and he murked her. Damn. That's why there's so many people that don't help other people, because they're fearful of anything that could happen to them. This is the world we live in, huh? Wow. Okay, let's watch this video real quick. This is from NBCPhiladelphia.com, and the video just started on its own. Isn't that something?
NBC 10 breaking news.
We start with breaking news, guilty. Within the last hour, a jury came back with the verdict. Blair Watts found guilty of killing his business partner, Jennifer Brown. Thank you for joining us at 6. I'm Fred Shropshire.
I'm Jacqueline London. Let's get right to the courthouse in Norristown for the very latest with NBC 10's Deanna Durante joining us live. Deanna, we heard from Watts himself as he was walked out.
Despite a year that investigators, or nearly a year, have been working on this case, a jury coming back unanimously convicting him of first-degree murder, Watts is still saying he didn't do it.
Oh, you don't have the death penalty in Colorado.
And what about you?
I don't think California has it either.
Prosecutors say Watts may have said that all along during the case, the investigation, but the evidence, they say, clearly shows he killed Jennifer Brown in an effort to hide his crimes, stealing her money she thought was to go into a restaurant the pair were opening together. Instead, prosecutors say close to $27,000 was wasted, they say, on online gambling, eating out, online shopping. Now, prosecutors had the FBI come in and examine cell phone records. The jury saw those records, putting Watts in the location of the time and killing of Jennifer Brown and in the area where Brown was buried. A canine detected human remains in his cars and the home of Jennifer Brown. Family members had prepared for a lesser verdict here. Earlier in the day, the jury said it was having trouble coming up with a unanimous verdict on first-degree murder. In fact, when the jury came in, the judge asked them how they say on third-degree murder. The foreperson telling them, we didn't get to that. Then they told the court that they had convicted on first-degree murder. Clearly, the family of Brown very grateful for all that went into this.
I feel amazing today. Justice was served for my niece, Jennifer Brown. It will never bring her back, but at least I know he will never walk out and hurt another family again the way he has destroyed ours. Thank you, everybody, for everything. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Diane Brem, Jennifer's aunt, had been fighting for her safe return when she was reported missing on January 4th of last year and has stepped in to take care of Jennifer's young son. She told the court that that child's life has been upended. He had to leave the state, leave his friends, leave his school to start a whole new life without the only parent he's ever known. Immediately after that verdict was read, impact statements were relayed to the court, and Blair Watts sentenced to prison for the rest of his natural life. That is the very latest. Reporting live in Norristown, Deanna Durante, NBC 10 News.
I mean, at least he got life in prison, but damn. I didn't even think about that part. That child is now motherless, and his whole world was flipped over. I don't think they actually say how much how old the child is, but regardless, damn. Crazy. Oh no, 8-year-old son. Yeah, sorry, I apologize for that. 8-year-old son. Damn. Yeah, another angry, traumatized human being that's gonna have to face the world. An immense amount of trauma is... Damn, I hope the kid is able to get some help early on during his life, because if they let this fester... And again, rightfully so. I'm not saying that... I wouldn't defend the crime if the kid ends up committing a crime when he's older, but if the trauma is not treated with therapy now, that could later on manifest itself in other things that could be just detrimental to this kid. It could be fucking horrible. And then to have to grow up without a mom because your mom was killed by some dude. It wasn't even like a family member or anything. Like, oh, it was just killed by some random person. Damn. Alrighty, let's see. Moving on to the next one. Oh boy. I don't think this... I don't think this one is necessarily a true crime case, but I'm still gonna click on it because the title, it caught my eye. We're going to Virginia, and it says, gingerbread man caught trying to walk into stranger's home in Virginia. True Crime Daily, published December 15th, 2023. Look at the picture of the gingerbread man right there. And that's something. This is in Arlington, and it says, Santa Claus is coming to town, but apparently so is the gingerbread man. Some residents on North George Mason Drive got a bit of a shock Wednesday evening when their Ring doorbell cameras captured a person in an inflatable gingerbread man costume trying to enter their house. The footage, shared by WUSA-TV reporter Katie Lusso, shows the gingerbread man looking around, walking up to the door, and attempting to open it. The homeowner told WUSA, "We noticed the door was trying to be pushed. We looked at the camera. I'm looking at this guy in a costume." The man called Arlington County Police Department's non-emergency line to report the incident, and the operator reportedly had to confirm that it was, in fact, someone dressed as the wintry tree. A snippet of a video also showed the gingerbread man walking slowly down the street. He allegedly tried to get into another house down the street too. Arlington County Police told WUSA in a statement a community member filed an online report regarding suspicious circumstances. The report indicates that at approximately 6 p.m. on December 13th, a man in a gingerbread costume tried to open the door of a residence in the 2600 block of North George Mason Drive and, upon finding the door was locked, walked away. A neighbor reportedly approached the gingerbread man, and they said the person stated he was looking for a friend's house. One resident said it was not holly jolly. Jeez. Okay. Does she have the okay, so this is the video. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger.
Standing there, he's in his gingerbread man costume. I'm like,
I'm gonna put it back.
He didn't ring the doorbell. He's just standing there. He's in his gingerbread man costume. I'm like, gingerbread man, what? So it wasn't something like someone was hiding. He was literally like walking in the middle of the street.
It did seem a little suspicious. Like, part of me thought, all right, well, maybe it's like festive holiday spirit.
Dang. Around my neighborhood, we had something like that happen. It wasn't a gingerbread man. It was some guy that he would dress up in like a clown suit and shit. And he especially at night, he'd go around knocking on people's doors. I never had my door knocked by him, but I have like other neighbors that live in the same complex that did experience that clown literally knocking on their door late at night. They had to call the cops a few times because it got really scary. There was one point where there's several like forested areas in this county, and a lot of people were reporting seeing that clown walking around all neighborhoods around, and would disappear into that wooded area, and it would come out like an hour later and stuff, and it was pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie, I would have loved to see pictures or videos of that, but I don't know. I guess I've never seen it myself. But the neighbors that have encountered that clown have told me before, and they told me straight up that they saw that they opened the door for the person, and it's a family area, so you wouldn't think that, or quote unquote, you wouldn't think that anything would happen. People, they trust other people way too much around here, apparently, and they just opened the door for the dude, and they were shocked to see a weird clown just standing there. I'm surprised that no one tried to get violent with it or something, because I know some people that would have probably knocked that gingerbread guy out, or the clown. Something would have happened to him. They wouldn't have taken that so lightly. But in case you didn't see the video very well, here's a picture of the gingerbread man. Let's be honest, he could have well been confused and knocking on someone's house by mistake, but the fact that he was trying to get into the house is the suspicious part. And the fact that he has a whole suit on trying to hide his face and shit, I think that, yeah, didn't go quite as he thought it was going to go. But still pretty interesting. A little different from all the other true crime cases that we read here. Reminds me of the 12-year-old that we read about last stream that drove the forklift. Again, not necessarily true crime, but still pretty funny. Still pretty funny. Nothing happened. So we can see the humor in it. Obviously, if something would have happened or someone would have gotten hurt, it would have been a different story. But nothing happened. No one got hurt. The cops were called. And we saw the guy just like walking in his gingerbread costume. Who knows? Maybe he just really likes Christmas. And he just wants to spread the Christmas joy to everyone. Or maybe he's a psychotic serial killer that was just trying to get into someone's house and be the gingerbread man killer. The Broken Arrow case where the two teenagers killed the whole family, they did it because they wanted to gain notoriety. Their actual words were, "We want everyone to know what we did." And their plan was, after they were done with their family, they were going to get into a car and drive state by state and do the same to other families as well, because they wanted to be at the same level of like the Bundys and the Ed Gaines and all this shit. Yeah, look it up. It's the Broken Arrow family murders. What is it? It's like one of his name is like Michael, the Bever family. Look it up. Very, very, very sadistic, heinous crime done completely intentionally with the goal of becoming famous for killing people. This is the world we live in. Yeah, gotta be careful. Alright, let's move on. Wow. What is it with these parents, though? Like, oh my goodness. We're going to Long Island. Actually, we're going to New York. The title says, New York mom pleads guilty to smothering twin daughters to death and driving around with their bodies. True Crime Daily, published December 15th, 2023, and this is in Suffolk County. And it says, a 28-year-old woman entered a plea this week for killing her two young daughters in 2019 and driving around with their bodies in her van. In a statement, the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office announced, Tania Campbell pleaded guilty to 2 counts of murder in connection with the deaths of her 2-year-old daughters, Jada and Jasmine Campbell. On June 27th, 2019, at 2:37 p.m., Campbell's mother reportedly called police and said Campbell was driving in her van and threatening to kill herself and her daughters. Law enforcement officials conducted a widespread search for Campbell, and a police officer located her car about an hour and a half after the initial call. The police officer reportedly approached Campbell, who was standing outside the van. When the officer got closer to the van, she reportedly saw the two twins deceased in their car seats. Campbell confessed to smothering her daughters to death. According to the district attorney's office, an ambulance transported the girls to an area hospital where they were pronounced deceased. The medical examiner determined they died from homicidal violence consistent with manual asphyxia. Campbell was initially charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of second-degree murder. A judge is expected to sentence Campbell to 20 years to life in prison. District Attorney Raymond Tierney said, following the plea, "This is such a sad and tragic case. Those 2 little girls looked to this defendant, their mother, for protection and love. Instead, she executed them. The defendant has one thing those twin girls will never have again, life. But now, this defendant will get to live out the majority of her life behind bars." I can only imagine the shock and awe of that police officer when seeing 2 infants in car seats, lifeless. Wow. Holy shit. It's common themes when we read these True Crime Daily cases. If it's not these horrible men that kill their spouses or their girlfriends, it's these horrible parents that commit these crimes against children. Insane. She was an able-bodied human being that had 2 children. And that's why I consistently mention psychological tests for parents to be that able-bodied men and women that are planning to have children have to subject themselves to some sort of psychological examination to determine if they are, in fact, mentally prepared to have a child, to bring a human being into the world. And this is a prime example of why it should have been done. People, they argue with me about it because they think that I'm talking about other things, and it's I'm not. If you're an able-bodied person and you have like a functioning genitalia, regardless of it being a man or a woman, you should have to have some type of psychological test that could determine if you are in the correct mind space to be able to have a child, to be able to look for and take care of children, because they're not going to do it on their own. And it's like this, the district attorney said, you know, it's a child, a baby, looks to their mother for protection and love, looks to their parents, not so much the mother. And mother in this case, because they're talking about her, but generally look for their parents for love and affection. And they're the ones that brought the child into the world, yet they are the ones that are causing all of these things to their children. It's not the baby grabbing, like, it's not the baby beating their parents up to death. You feel me? It's not like baby's kids, and you know they talk back to their, like, the baby talks back to their parents or some shit like that. Dude, these are like really horrible parents that willingly have these children and subject them to this type of lifestyle and to all these horrendous things. And then there's people in this world that are just like set mentally to like wanna drive deep that whole you gotta have kids and all this stuff, and they want to like basically force people into making this huge decision, and then they're surprised why something like this would happen. It's because these parents weren't fit to have kids. I don't understand. I think every single parent in this world is out here with their kids' best interest in mind. Dude, there's people that have kids to file them as dependents on taxes so that they can get money every year. Yeah. I didn't know that was true until I saw a documentary explaining it. Yeah, there's people that do that shit. Just as much as there's people that have money in this country and they sign up for welfare, there are people that have kids and they have them and they fight amongst the people who they had the child with to see who's gonna be able to put them as a dependent, because they get a lot of money back because of that per child. So if you think, I mean, if that doesn't ring a bell towards you, that there are people that are not capable of having children because they have them for all the wrong reasons, I don't think people should be surprised about these true crime cases when they happen, because what did you think was going to happen? I don't know. That's just my opinion. Let me know in chat what you guys think. Yeah, babies for benefits. I didn't know it was a thing until I saw that documentary. This was a while ago. And they thoroughly explain how the system works. And wow. There are people that sign up for adoption agencies, like for foster care and like to be like foster parents, to charge the per kid, and that's how they make money. It's a business. And you wouldn't think of a child, like a parent would be capable of doing this to their children. It's hard enough living right now in the world. Dude, you know how hard it is to be a kid in this world right now? And when I was a kid, it was completely different. I'm not saying that things didn't happen, but it was a lot different than now. It's really hard to be a child now. I've mentioned it before. It was like, a child doesn't win in any situation right now. In any. I think, my own personal opinion, this is the worst time to be a kid. That is, wow. It's crazy. And I don't even want to get into the reasons why. You already, if you're watching this show, but if you live in this country, you know for a fact that it is so hard to be a child right now. It's not like you can... I'm not even going to get into it, because that's going to be like a half an hour discussion, just enumerating all of the things that are literally against children right now. It's crazy. It's extremely gross. I agree with you, Duncan. Yeesh. All right, moving on. We're going to Washington. The title says, elderly DC man did not want to eat the pancakes his wife made and allegedly stabbed her to death. True Crime Daily, published December 15th, 2023. And this is in Washington. And it says, police arrested an 85-year-old man this week on suspicion of fatally stabbing his 81-year-old wife because he didn't want to eat the pancakes she cooked for him. According to a news release from the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, on Sunday, December 10th, at around 3:40 p.m., officers responded to a report of a possible stabbing in the 1300 block of Corcoran Street Northwest. Officers found Sharon Schwartz inside the apartment suffering from stab wounds. Police said the victim's husband, Stephen Schwartz, sustained self-inflicted injuries. Both individuals were transported to hospitals, where Sharon Schwartz succumbed to her injuries. Police allege Stephen Schwartz killed his wife, and they arrested him on a charge of second-degree murder while armed. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia, prosecutors believe Schwartz did not want to eat the pancakes his wife made, and he allegedly stabbed her in the back. Schwartz was arraigned on Thursday, December 14th, and pleaded not guilty. A judge ordered him to remain held without bond until his next court date on January 2nd, 2024. In a span of 2 weeks, since the last live stream that we did, this is the third case that I've read about an elderly citizen killing his wife for the dumbest reason ever. The one that we read last week was the vet bill one, the cat vet bill. And he beat her with a candle holder to death. This guy stabbed his wife because he didn't want to eat the pancakes that she made. And I'm here reading this and just thinking to myself, like, wow, it's just every day the meaning and significance of life and the value of life is lost on some people. I don't know. People commit these crimes, and I feel like in the back of their minds they think that they're not going to get caught or nothing is going to happen to them. And it doesn't matter what age you are. You're 85 years old and you killed your wife because you didn't want to eat her pancakes. We read another case of the person in the senior housing facility that killed the lady because he thought she was a witch. What is happening to these old people? I mean, it's not to say that young people aren't doing shit, but what is going on? 85 years old. You spent 85 years of your life, and the last days you're on Earth. I mean, just saying he's 85. I'm not saying that he's going to die that same day, but, 85, you would think that they're a little bit closer to the end of their time, of their natural life. And 85 years old and you could commit this crime, and then you're going to spend the rest of your life, whichever amount of years you have left, incarcerated because you murdered someone. That's... wow. So imagine spending 85 years of your life paying taxes and like doing all this, and then the last years of your life you're going to spend in jail because you were stupid and inconsiderate of someone else's life. Like you hated your wife so much that her making pancakes triggered you and you killed her. That's... wow. Maybe it's something in their coffee. I don't know. Maybe it's some sort of medication that they're taking. I'm trying to attach it to something, but it's wow. Yeah, can't believe he had the strength at 85. I'm 39 and my back hurts. I can hear my knees pop sometimes. Let alone be 85 and find the will to commit a crime in this manner. And you already know that. If he did this because he didn't want to eat her pancakes, you know damn well that this has been going on for a very long time. And it's just that this was when he completed the whole thing. Because that's a stupid reason in and of itself, but it's a clear indication that had been going on for quite some time. He had probably been beating up his wife for a very long time, and that was just like that was his tipping point, I guess. The pancakes. Could you imagine that it would have been the most delicious pancakes that he would have ever eaten? Wow. Isn't that something, huh? Okay, this one doesn't have a news video attached to it. Wow. We're going to Tennessee. Title says, Tennessee man allegedly fatally threw 2-year-old against wall while babysitting. True Crime Daily, December 15th, 2023 was when this was published, and this is in Putnam County. It says, deputies arrested a man weeks after he allegedly fatally threw his live-in girlfriend's 2-year-old child against the wall because he was upset with him. On December 2nd, the Putnam County Sheriff's Office responded to J.D. Randolph Road to a report of an unresponsive 2-year-old child. Deputies found the toddler, Ventura Mora Francisco, and transported him to Cookeville Regional Medical Center. The child was later transported to Vanderbilt Medical Children's Hospital to treat a major traumatic brain injury. Putnam County Detective Sergeant Brian Haworth spoke with the victim's mother, Sarah Mora, as well as her live-in boyfriend, Ashton Sensing. The sheriff's office said Sensing was babysitting the toddler and 3 other children when the victim sustained his injuries. Sensing reportedly told the detective that while he was babysitting, he fell asleep on the couch and the victim fell once into an air vent and then fell a second time, causing him to go unconscious. However, according to the sheriff's office, Sensing eventually confessed to the detective that he threw the child against a wall and hit him. Sensing said he kept getting upset with the 2-year-old throughout the day, and after throwing and hitting the child, the toddler became unresponsive. Haworth later learned the victim's injuries were inoperable and he would not survive. Officials also determined the injuries were caused by non-accidental blunt trauma. The boy died 3 days after the incident on December 5th. Officials obtained a warrant for Sensing's arrest on charges of first-degree murder and aggravated child abuse on December 7th. The sheriff's office said Sensing avoided law enforcement and had been on the run since December 6th. The sheriff's office learned Sensing was at a Dollar General store in Putnam County on December 14th. Deputies went to the store, found Sensing, and took him into custody. Sensing was booked into the Putnam County Jail and remains held without bond. He is scheduled to appear in court on January 12, 2024. Sheriff Eddie Ferris said in a statement, "This is a very sad and unfortunate outcome that resulted in the brutal death of an innocent child. There is no more important resource than the future of our children." I don't know if you noticed that he's not even their father. He's just her boyfriend. He has no relation to these children. Wow. And he was babysitting the toddler and 3 other children. If he would have been angry enough, he would have hurt the other children as well. I mean, bad enough that he did this to a 2-year-old. Threw him against the wall. Who knows with what force he threw this child against the wall that caused... Yeah, inmates can have him. They can have fun with him. He can call them all daddy. I mean, just to put it out there, and I've said it before, there's videos on YouTube. You can find videos on TikTok as well. The things that inmates do to criminals that have anything to do with children, whether it's abuse or sexual abuse, anything that has to do with a kid, is very quickly taken care of in jail. Hell, there was a case, it was like a day or two that came out that was reported that they killed a pedophile in a jail, and it was the inmates that killed him. They beat him up so bad that he ended up dying of his injuries. Oh well, not much we could say about that. I mean, lunch is close today. It's almost lunchtime. That's as much as we can say about it, because that's what happens to criminals that do offenses against children. They are treated horribly in prison, and very well deserved. So I agree with you, Duggan. This person is gonna get the worst of the worst in jail. Bushlight, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I agree with you. Good. With a GOOD all capitalized. Very good. I'll go even a little bit further. I think that when it's cases of kids like this, and the worse of the offense towards the kid, the worse it should be for that person. There are countries around the world, I'm not going to name them, but there are countries around the world that people that do things against children get their nuts cut off. There are countries in the world that they get their genitals chopped off. There are countries in the world where they burn their genitals, they burn their hands, they burn them completely. And I'm not saying they should do that in jail. Listen, I'm not advocating for that type of violence, per se. But if it's like kids who are completely defenseless, there should be stricter and worse treatment towards them in jail. There is already, but it's not anything set in stone. But again, there are other countries that take it to another level because of the fact that it's someone that's completely completely defenseless. What is a 2-year-old child supposed to do? Yeah, no, we do. We do. We definitely need it. What was it? The 5-month-old that we saw in the last live stream that was put into scalding water by his father. I mean, what would that 5-month-old be able to do? So I think that, yeah, my personal opinion, I think that it should be a lot worse if it's things against children. It should be way worse. I feel like we mind you, the case of the dad that put his 5-month-old son into scalding water was released on bond for $5,000. The child lost 3 fingers, some toes, and is traumatized for the rest of his life. 5-month-old. Didn't choose to be here. Didn't tell his parents to have sex. Didn't tell his parents to have unprotected sex. Did nothing but be born and exist. That's it. That's all that 5-month-old did, was be born, breathe, poop, eat, and exist. That's it. And now the child is limbless, fingerless, and traumatized for the rest of his life. And the dad is wandering and meandering around the streets as if nothing happened. I'm telling you, the justice system in this country sometimes definitely needs to be worked on. A little bit more. Just a little bit more. Maybe there should be some changes made, because it's... Why are we letting criminals out like that? That it's proven that they committed these crimes. Yeesh. That's all I can say. Actually going to read a few more, but I've been getting nonstop messages from my nieces and nephews, and I'm not sure what's going on. I have to go check on my brother and whatnot, see if everything's okay. But everything should be okay, but I'm a little bit worried now. I shouldn't be, but whatever. We'll finish reading this one. I'll read 2 more, and then I might be live today again in the afternoon. I was going to do the crime talk portion of it and whatnot, but I want to know what's going on, and I don't want to do it on live. Hopefully it's nothing, but I want to tend to that before, in case it really does need my attention and whatnot. I mean, they're great kids, so I'm sure that it's nothing wrong, nothing bad, or my sister-in-law would have been the one that would have been reaching out to me, but I still need to figure out what's going on. So I'll finish reading this one, we'll do 2 more, and then I'll end the live stream for today. I apologize. I had to mute the amount of messages, but it just keeps coming in and out, so I'd rather just attend to whatever it is that they need, and figure it out. Hopefully it's great news, and hopefully it'll be something to laugh about, but you never know. Okay, so it says on December 2nd, the Putnam County Sheriff's Office responded to J.D. Randolph. Okay, we read that part. It was babysitting. Okay. Scheduled. Okay, no, we actually read this whole part. This is a very sad and unfortunate outcome that resulted in the death of an innocent child. There is no more important resource than the future of our children. Okay. I'm not sure if I read that one correctly or entirely, but I apologize. We'll do one more. Two more. We'll do this one from Indiana, and okay, we'll do this one in Indiana. We'll go to Utah, and then we'll go to Florida, and then I'll end the live stream there. Because wow, these titles look pretty interesting. This is the correctional officers will put them in general population, and about the other prisoners know why they're there. Yeah, I follow this guy on TikTok, and he describes his time in prison and all of the things that happened. He was incarcerated for a good chunk of his life, and he just tells stories of all the things that he said there. And he's where I took the information from about the things that they do to like child abusers and pedophiles in prison. He was telling the story of one person that was incarcerated specifically, and how the entire prison all had like a mob mentality kind of thing against him, and they ended up killing that person. So yeah, pretty scary stories to hear from the outside, but it's again completely understandable because it's kids. The inmates don't take that very serious. They don't take that very lightly. Sorry, and good. It's good for them. A lot of those people, they don't have anything to lose, and that was a person I watched on TikTok. He said that. He said a lot of the inmates that are there they're in prisons for life, and they don't care. They don't care about adding more life sentences to the ones that they already have. So yeah, they'll go all the way, and yeah, they'll do these things to those pedophiles. No complaint from me, not one whatsoever. Hell, it should be 10 times worse, but whatever. Apparently, if you say those type of things, you're considered a sadistic or yeah. Oh well, you guys here, you guys understand. It was nice to have someone else in here to chat. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Duggan. It's great to have someone else as well too. At one point, the goal is to have many people in here, and that chat will be a lot more active, but slowly but surely. But I do appreciate you two being here. It means the world to me. And again, I'll read these three, and then I apologize. I'm just gonna figure out what the hell's going on. We're going to Indiana. Title says, Indiana mother and her 3 children found shot to death in burning home. True Crime Daily, published December 14th, 2023, and this is in Jefferson County. And it says, state police are investigating the deaths of a 35-year-old mother and her 3 young children, who were all found shot to death in a burning home this week. Wow. According to a news release from the Indiana State Police on Tuesday, December 12th, at approximately 4 p.m., emergency and fire personnel responded to the 1600 block of East Telegraph Road due to a home that had caught on fire. Firefighters went into the residence and found the bodies of 4 victims, and officials pronounced them dead at the scene. The flames were extinguished, and investigators responded to the scene to look into the victims' deaths. The deceased individuals sustained injuries consistent with gunshot wounds, but police have not yet named a suspect. Okay, no, this is not it. On Wednesday, December 13th, state police said they identified the 4 victims as Naomi Briner and her children, 12-year-old Adelia Briner, 8-year-old Leland Briner, and 6-year-old Lila Briner. The investigation is ongoing. For a moment, I don't know why I got a little bit confused with that house that exploded a few days ago in a really horrible manner. They say that supposedly there were bodies inside of the house. Other people say that it was a gender reveal party gone wrong, but there are some people that are saying, the talk of the town, that there were like bodies in there, and whoever had put the bodies in there had intentionally planted explosives in the house. A lot of people like to talk. I'm not 100% sure. No, there isn't any really concrete evidence that suggests that it could have been bodies inside of the house. But I mean, just reading something like this, you would kind of think like for it to get to the point of the house exploding, maybe there was something inside that they were trying to hide. But I don't know why my mind's confused one and the other. I think it was maybe the picture that resembles where the house that exploded was, sort of. I think it's like mostly like the trees you see there and like the greenery. That I don't know why I confused it, but yeah, that is something that did you guys see that video though of that house exploding? Yeah, you do remember that was crazy. But yeah, it's not the same house. No motive or anything. There's no news video to this, so that's why I didn't click on anything else. They identified the victims with the names that we just read now, but there isn't any motive or apparently no suspect either. They're just investigating the cause and what happened at this point. Because of the gravity of the case and just how severe the crime was, we will most likely get an update on this. So this case I'll put on my list of cases that we'll read back up on when they do post some sort of update. And I do think they are, because again it seems like there will be evidence provided for this at some point. Alright, moving on to the next one. We are going to Utah. It says, where is Dad? That's where I want to know. Yeah, where is Dad? Which is sort of like the same question that law enforcement always ask themselves first, like, where is the other parent? Because that sounds like all three kids and the wife and the mother. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, it does sound like that could have been fault of the ex-partner, ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, boyfriend. There's so many different reasons as to why. Very sad. Wow, all 3 kids, they were all already like in the beginnings of the prime of their young adult life, you know, learning about the world and eager to live in it, and it was cut short. They were murdered. Wow. All right, for this one we are going, what is it? I think it's Florida? Is it? Yeah. We're going to Florida. Title says, man found guilty of setting ex's new boyfriend's house on fire and stabbing him more than 80 times. True Crime Daily, published December 14th, 2023. And this is in Jacksonville. Jurors found a man guilty this week of fatally stabbing his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend in 2021 after looking up how to kill someone with a knife. Florida State Attorney Melissa Nelson announced December 12th that the state is seeking the death penalty after a jury convicted Randall Brown of first-degree murder and armed burglary with assault or battery. According to the state attorney's office, on August 3rd, 2021, between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., the victim and his girlfriend, Kissy McKay, noticed the smell of gasoline and smoke and saw that the victim's front door was ablaze. Brown then reportedly attacked the victim and stabbed him more than 80 times. During the assault, the state attorney's office said Brown and the victim moved from the front door to the kitchen, even though the victim was defenseless. McKay eventually called 911 at approximately 3 a.m. Jacksonville Fire and Rescue responded to the home and performed life-saving measures on the victim, but he succumbed to his wounds. With the help of canines, officials found the suspect's shirt, a backpack, knife, and gas container near the home. They also found a GPS tracking device registered to Brown and blood in his vehicle. Further investigation revealed McKay used to date Brown, but she broke up with him a few weeks before the attack. According to the state attorney's office, McKay's son died around the time of the breakup, and McKay told Brown she was about to get rich, or she was about to be rich. Brown reportedly tried to get back together with McKay, but knew she was with another man. He reportedly placed a tracking device on his ex-girlfriend's car to find out where she was sleeping at night. Oh boy. The state attorney's office said investigators found out Brown had Googled how to kill someone with a knife, and he made other incriminating searches before and after the fatal stabbing. According to the state attorney's office, McKay changed her relationship status on Facebook just hours after the victim's death to show she was in a relationship with Brown. McKay was charged with accessory after the fact. I think that one of the worst things that, for example, Apple could have ever created was that tag. They didn't mention the Apple tag here, but I have read other cases that have to do with exes and deranged people putting trackers inside of people's cars and purses and personal items and whatnot. And it's just like a perfect example of technology that was intended to be used a certain way ended up just being completely awful for human beings. Because I mean, like, how many keys do you lose that you would have to have an air tag attached to it? But it's so easy to put this in a vehicle of someone and just track everything that they do. Let's see. That's range. My motto in life is: before you do something to somebody, how would you feel if they did it to you? Exactly. I tried to tell my nephew that, but he didn't listen. He's in jail now, looking at a long prison sentence. Yikes. I know someone that's in prison as well for a very long time. It didn't commit like a murder or anything like that, but yeah, committed something extremely stupid, very stupid, thinking that he wasn't ever gonna get caught, and he got caught all right. He got caught in Florida, and he was trying to pull a Scarface with the yayo, and now he's in jail for a very long time. It was a lot. It was a lot. And it's just dumb people doing dumb things. When people are young, they think they know everything, yeah? Which is what we're now finding out with these upcoming generations that are coming up. Just to like throw it out there, like the first one that pops into my head, the two teenagers that ran over the ex-police chief. I believe it was in Arizona or Utah. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's either or. They had stolen the vehicle. They had already ran over someone else, and then they saw this guy minding his own business on a bike, and they just ran him over and killed him. Minors, both. They just ran him over and killed him. And they recorded the whole thing. In their minds, they were going to get famous, TikTok famous, social media famous, by committing a murder. And that, coupled with the fact that these next generations, their goal in life is to be a content creator and a YouTuber, kind of gives us a clear indication that, yeah, we might not be going down a very good route. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they'll be the best generation in the world. But if we're taking it at face value right now, yeah, I feel I'm scared for the future. I'm scared for these upcoming generations because things have changed so much. And like I mentioned before, the value of life for many people has just gone down. And it's just like, not only are people not considerate towards other people, but like, people are committing crimes and murders now that are for the worst and pettiest reasons. And that's very sad. Very sad. See, remember that one? Yeah, they were seen joking and laughing in court. They were seen... well, one of them was, and then the other one did it, but the lifelessness behind those eyes. You know, they say that the eyes are the windows to the soul. There was a certain point in the video when they were showing the court, that the whole court proceeding, where they showed one of them kind of like sideways in the camera, but you can tell that there was nothing behind those eyes. I'll give you an example. If you've seen the documentary Love Has Won, that crazy cult lady documentary, I mentioned it at the beginning of the stream, but they interview a member of the cult, and very rare instance of someone speaking into a camera, looking into it, and there's nothing there. There's nothing behind those eyes. It's just empty. And that's the same thing I saw with one of those two criminals during that court case. Yeah. It's that same non-emotion face that Chris Watts had during his court proceedings as well. Well, it's just nothing. That's scary. To me, that type of person is really, really scary to me. Do you guys know who Jesse Plemons is? Jesse Plemons, he's a famous actor. He is married to Kirsten Dunst. He was in Breaking Bad. More towards the last 2 seasons. It was like 4 and 5 or 5 and 6, something like that. A blonde dude. He is the nephew of, I forgot his name, like the main antagonist towards the end of Breaking Bad. But the guy has been in a whole bunch of other movies. He's the neighbor in Game Night. That type of person is like the scariest to me. Outspoken people don't really do much like for me when it comes to like feeling that terror, but cool, calm, collected people that just have no emotion, but it still sends these shivers down your spine. His acting does that. And there's a trailer for a Civil War, that A24 movie that's going to come out next year. And he's in the movie. And there's just a little part. And yeah, dude, that type of villain is, to me, the worst. And it translates a lot into how people act, like in general. Very scary. This person that stabbed his wife like that is the type of, like, that sort of type of villain and whatnot. It's pretty scary. You have to go help with the wife? Thank you very much, Bush. I really appreciate that. Hope to see you here. I might or might not. I'm not 100% sure. I also have to run some errands with the wife as well. Hopefully I'll be able to do it earlier. But thank you very much, Bush. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you. Your time here is very much appreciated, and time in general is not really ours, it's borrowed, and the fact that you spent a minute here with me, it means the world to me. So thank you very much. Have a great day. All right, we'll read this last one, and then I'm going to head out too as well, unfortunately. Alrighty, we'll end the last one going to Houston. Title says, Houston woman accused of fatally stabbing teen mother while she was walking to work. True Crime Daily, published December 14th, 2023. And this is in Houston. It says, police have arrested a woman on suspicion of fatally stabbing a teen mother while she was walking to work over the weekend. According to a news release from the Houston Police Department, on Saturday, December 9th, citizens flagged down officers regarding a disturbance in the street. Police found 17-year-old Kayla Stevenson unresponsive on the sidewalk with stab wounds, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. Police allege Stevenson was walking to work when the suspect, 37-year-old Kaysone Blossom, robbed and stabbed her multiple times. According to KTRK-TV, Blossom stole the victim's purse. The suspect allegedly had a taser, handcuffs, duct tape, and another knife in her possession at the time of the attack. Witnesses reportedly saw Blossom riding a blue cruiser-style bicycle. Officers from the Houston Police Department SWAT team apprehended Blossom at her home on Beach Nut Street on Wednesday, December 13th. She was booked into the Harris County Jail on a charge of capital murder. According to KTRK, at the time of the fatal stabbing, Blossom was out on bond for allegedly cutting her ex-boyfriend with a knife in 2021. The victim was the mother of a 6-month-old child. Wow. Another child now having to grow up in the system. Traumatized. Yeesh. And if at least we would have a foster care system in this country that would
right now
properly and whatnot, but we also don't have that. So again, I say it again, and they keep repeating the same thing. It's just, it's so hard to be a child in the United States right now. Yikes. oh, your dog doesn't need you right now, so you might stick around to the end. My cat has been clawing at the door for the past like 15, 20 minutes. So I feel you. He doesn't really need me. He just can't stand the thought of not being with me, I guess. That's very sweet. Not even gonna lie. Okay, we'll watch this video and then I'll say my goodbyes and end the live stream.
Well, right now, disturbing details are surfacing about the woman accused of stabbing a 17-year-old girl.
What dog do you have? Ducking, what race is it? Is it race? No, what breed? Race. And sorry, in Spanish, it's raza. That's what they call the breeds of dogs. So that's the literal translation, but I get it confused sometimes, so it's breed. A Muggins, wow, 16? You know that dog is very well loved because, well, I think I read once that dog or cat makes it past the age of 10, it's because they have had a life filled with love. So I can only imagine all that love that dog gets, because if it's anything like the love that my cat gets, it's no wonder I have such a spoiled brat roaming around my house all the time. If this cat could talk, he'd get his way with everything. Now all he has to do is be cute. Isn't that something, huh? Oh, he acts like he's 4? Yeah, my cat acts like he's like 1. My cat's 10. And he acts like he's like a 1-year-old. But I don't know, the level of like animals have this sense of like knowing who their person is, and they create this bond, and then it's like it becomes separation anxiety to the point where I can't close doors in this house because I have this cat that'll start meowing and insisting on trying to get in. I can only imagine having a dog in the house that's used to having you there and used to always being around you. They get that separation anxiety. I had to take my cat once to the vet because of that. I thought he was going through something. I didn't know what it was, and the vet just told me like, oh yeah, no, he'll be fine. It's just he missed you a lot. And that whole thing cost me like $500 because I thought he was really sick. I didn't know I thought he was having some sort of problem and whatnot, and it was just like bummed out because we had left for like 4 days on vacation. A level of control that this animal has over me. Alright, nonetheless. Alright, let's check out this video. This is from ABC13.com. Title says, suspect in fatal stabbing of 17-year-old girl near Galleria was out of jail on bond. Records show.
Year-old girl in the news of stabbing a 17-year-old girl in the Galleria area.
Well, court records revealed that the female suspect was out on bond.
You know what? So do I, Duckin. I'm not even gonna lie. So do I. Especially during this year that I've been working mostly from home, and I'm trying to get out of the house and get a job elsewhere, like an office job that's not home. I know he's gonna be a lot more bummed out because I'm his shoulder and his lap 90% of the time. So, poor thing. He'll be fine though.
For stabbing her ex-boyfriend.
A spoiled brat like that will be more than fine.
That case has yet to go to trial almost 3 years later. ABC 13's Alex Bozargian joins us live from the Galleria. And Alex, we understand you've been pushing for answers on this one.
City officials have said time and time again that those court backlogs contribute to higher crime rates, leaving criminals out on the street longer to reoffend. The mother of the 17-year-old murder victim says that's what happened here, and she believes this could have been prevented.
The more that I hear about her now, it frustrates me.
Kylie Stevenson is still grappling with the senselessness of her 17-year-old daughter's murder. Every morning, she's forced to face the fact that police believe this woman, Kaysen Blossom, stabbed her daughter, Kayla Stevenson, to death over a purse.
I feel that it could have been avoided if she wasn't out on the street. So if she was behind bars like she should have been, then my daughter would still be here with me today, and she would be with her daughter.
Stevenson says it adds insult to injury to know Blossom was out on bond, awaiting trial for so long for allegedly stabbing her ex-boyfriend back in February of 2021. The Harris County DA's office says Blossom first shot the ex-boyfriend with tear gas bullets before stabbing him. She was released on a $10,000 personal recognizance bond, meaning she was free to go and didn't need to pay any money unless she failed to appear or violated bond. Records show 14 of Blossom's court dates were reset. We also know her trial date was reset 5 times.
Hopefully, this time she won't be able to get out and do this again.
We asked the DA's office what the holdup was, and they listed a number of factors, including the pandemic and an attorney change a year and a half ago. The DA says at this point, to get this to trial, they need a mental competency report from an expert. We also learned that during the 3 years Blossom was out on bond, she was self-publishing children's books. Kayla's mom didn't know that until we told her.
That's a lot to take in, Alex.
Blossom was set to be in court today, December 14th, but she didn't appear due to a medical hold. So here is a look at some case backlog data. Both of Blossom's cases are in the 230th District Court now. The aggravated assault from February of 2021 was originally in the 248th District Court. The 248th has just over 1,280 cases pending. 22% are more than a year old. That is lower than the county-wide average, which is 25%. In the Galleria, I'm Alex Bozarjian, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
So, just so that we can be on the same page, I just want to go back to the graph that they had. So it's in the 248th District Court, there are 1,280 pending cases, 22% pending for a year or more, which probably means that there's potentially innocent people sitting in jail. And this is just kind of throwing that out there, but there could be cases within those 1,280 pending cases of people that are innocent that are being charged with something, that are sitting in jail right now, not able to have a court date or anything. And that's for the district. In Harris County, there's 32,243 pending cases, and 25% of them have been pending for a year or more. So 32,243 different cases that could range from petty things to very serious things. And stuck in the middle there is probably people that are innocent. There's probably people there that were busted for a joint. There are probably people there that were, charged with something dumb, shoplifting or some shit, whatever. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out. But that's a staggering high number of pending cases. And it's just a county. That's insane. I feel like there should be a lot more money injected into this county, and just as much as this one, there's so many other counties that are probably experiencing the same thing as well, and they can't handle the amount of cases. I don't know, like, besides money coming in, like, what else could be done? Hiring more people, trying to get the process done a lot faster, but that's insane. And I'm not saying that all these cases are innocent people. Of course, there's probably many of these cases that the person should have been put in jail and remained in jail until their court case. But just as much, there could be some people that didn't commit the crime and are stuck in jail waiting for their court case to come through. We read one last live stream, and the person was in jail waiting for their court case for like 9 years before the case came around. But then you have other cases where the person commits a crime and they're let out and on bond, and it takes years for them to ever go back to court, and they're roaming around free, not even in jail. So it's very, very odd, and I don't know. I see these numbers. That's pretty scary. Just thinking, coming to the realization that there could be so many different type of cases there. Maybe there's like cases that there's like a rape incident, a child sexual assault incident, or whatever, and it hasn't been taken to court yet. It hasn't been they haven't been like prosecuted or anything, and who knows, like maybe potentially the person is still out on the run or not put into jail and stuff, and because that case is still pending. And that's, wow, it's just seeing an actual number on screen as opposed to just like kind of imagining it is quite the reality check. Wow. 32,000 cases. Wow, I would have understood if it had been like 1,000, 2,000. Yeah, man, they're probably really busy and they have to, try to speed things up or give each case the time that it needs. But how are you going to do it with 32,243 pending cases? And this is supposed to be less than previous years. So I guess they put a dent on the number and they were able to get some cases go through, but that's insane. And this is more of a county level kind of thing, like district and counties, as opposed to like a whole state. If this is in Harris County, I don't even want to imagine like other counties. I saw a video really recently. I forgot where Homerville is, but dude, they were considered like the worst police department in the United States, and they had a staggering amount of pending cases. Not the reason why they were considered the worst police district in the police station in the United States, beating New York cops, which are notorious for topping that list, and Los Angeles cops. At Homerville, police chief and the police department, if you have nothing to do, please read into everything that has been going on in Homerville. And there's a really interesting video on YouTube of this arrest that was made probably like a week or two ago, and it has to be probably one of the worst police interactions in history. Like, I don't know how either of those two police officers were still there and doing their job, because it was really, really bad, and it's all in Homerville. So I think it's Homerville, Ohio, but I'm not 100% sure. I know it's Homerville. Google it, just Homerville Police Department, and you'll see a lot of very interesting information. And the reason why I mention it is because they also had a lot of pending cases. But wow, 32,000, huh? Isn't that something? That seems a little bit exaggerated. Wow. All right. Like I said, I have to cut today's thing short to figure out what's going on. Maybe it's something good. Maybe it's my I don't know, my nieces and nephews won something in school or something, and they're just really excited to tell me. But I'm normally on point with the uncle role. I have a lot of nieces and nephews, so I try to always be there for them. Try to be that cool uncle and whatnot. I fail miserably sometimes, but oh well, there's only so much I can do. Ducking Felons, thank you so much for being here. Bushlight, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I hope everything's good. Yeah, I mean, I think it is. It's just that I haven't spoken to them in like a week or two, and I try to consistently talk with them so they can at least see their uncle's face. But it's probably something great. I just don't want to. I don't want them to think that I'm like avoiding them or ignoring them or something. But nonetheless, Ducking Felons, thank you so much for being here. Bushlight, thank you so much for being here. The person that stopped by on Twitch, Regulus, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for saying hello and whatnot. This was today's true crime episode. Hopefully, I'll be back live today. If not, then I'll probably do like Monday or something. I do owe you the Crime Talk review video, so that'll be the first thing I'm going to start with next time I do a live stream, and then we'll move on to reading some more cases. But like I said, thank you so much for being here, everyone that checked out today's episode. You can find me all across social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. What's the other one? Twitch, YouTube. I'm everywhere except X. Not doing it. Not doing that again. It's too spammy. And it's too spammy. I can't do it. And not even because of all the other reasons. I could care less about any of that, but it's too spammy, and there are too many bots there, and it interferes with the message when you're trying to get to like other people and whatnot. But Facebook, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, you can find me there. Same at KAS True Crime. Have a very wonderful day. Thank you so much, Duncan. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate Bush as well. He said the same thing too. I appreciate it. Guys, have a very wonderful day. It's cold as hell today here, so I'm going to go put another layer on because it's really cold. Stay safe. Take it easy. Have a very wonderful day, and peace out.